Well, that was the address of the Prime Minister once again at the top of 5 p.m. A very warm welcome here on CNN News 18. Hello, I'm Anusha Soni. Our top focus this hour is an accused under the POCSO Act who has still not been arrested despite much criticisms coming in from all quarters. The anticipatory bail plea of Lingayat Seer Shivamurthy Swami has been deferred till tomorrow. Meanwhile, the police has detained the warden of the Mutt, Rashmi. S.K. Basavarajan and his wife, who is the seer's aide, have also been accused of hatching a conspiracy. They've got the bail. S.K. Basavarajan was earlier sacked as the administrator and secretary of the Mutt. The two minors were produced in the court and their statements were recorded. Now, the apex child rights body, the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights, has asked the SP to furnish a detailed report of the matter within 7 days. The seer, who was booked under POCSO 6 days ago, continues to enjoy high-profile political visits despite the serious charge of sexual harassment of two minors against him. My colleague Ritu with this report.
It's been a long time that the delay has been made in this whole investigative process too. Why is there no justice that has been given to this the Dalit community, and specifically that the two minor girls are involved in this whole incident? But this is not just one in protest that we are getting to see. There has been an immediately continuous protests that are taking place in the Chitradurga from Dalit community. In specifically, we saw it from past 3-4 days that they are raising the slogans. They are demanding for an immediate arrest. You see that the banner they are also holding has the Ambedkar's picture and the seer's photo too, where there's a cross mark there. Question is also being raised against the police for not taking up this whole incident seriously. There are, you see, can be heard saying that arrest him immediately. That's the slogans that are being raised here. Sir, he has got a regular bail. Yes, what happened exactly today in the court?
Madam, those sections were bailable in nature. Sir, those sections were bailable in nature. There was little confusion about the sections because some sections got amended, like outraging the modesty of a woman, and the rest of the things, fortunately, they were all bailable. So there was some apprehension that the bail may not be granted because of some sections. But the act was very clear, section was very clear. They're all bailable in nature. So with that, we moved the bail. And by the grace of Lord Ganpati, we got the bail. The sections which are on the other party, they are heinous in nature. And these sections never so strong as they are facing.
So what is the next course of action now then?
Regarding what?
That which you are saying that for a 10th month that has been given.
That 10th month, see, the next regular procedure will be there. Like now the bail is granted. I don't know whether the prosecution will go for an appeal or what. We do not know. Now they have to file the charge sheet. So after filing of the charge sheet means they have to record the evidence of so many witnesses. And Rashmi has to give one more statement, further statement. After that, the court will call them and we have to regular evidence, etc., etc., etc. All those things are regular in nature.
We are lawyers appearing for the petition. Bail application has been filed. We are following only legal proceedings. 164 statement is a purely conference system. It is known to the only judge victims. It cannot be available to the public or defense lawyer at this stage. It is a purely discretion of the police. Investigation is a freedom of police. Freedom of police, duty of the police, right of the police. We are, as per 150 class 2, nobody is having power to interfere in the investigation.
So what exactly is this case about, and why has this case sent tremors across the politics of Karnataka? Let's take you through some key developments that have happened so far in this case. The accused heads one of the most prominent Karnataka Lingayat Mutts. This is a community which is politically speaking very, very important in the election. In the run-up to the elections for 2023, this community is going to play a very important and a critical role. There are different political parties which want to come forward and gain the vote bank of the Lingayat community. Not to forget that you have the likes of Mr. B.S. Yediyurappa, who's actually come forward and defended the accused and said, he's a noble man. Never mind the charges. Let's go forward and let's look at other key things. The Lingayats form the largest vote bank, about 17% counting in more. And most of this vote bank is controlled through these mutts. These mutts also hold power, money and various other facets which are required to run the unfortunate reality of Indian politics. Mutts like this one wield huge clout in the districts like Chitradurga. Not just in Chitradurga. If you're talking about a 17% vote bank, it is spread through different areas. But Chitradurga, of course, forms the epicenter. The Mutts command has huge political influence amongst its devotees. If you go to their website and if you actually see the number of intellectuals, academicians, actors who have been conferred with some kind of honors by the Mutt, the list is a very, very long one. The Mutt is known to aid political parties financially. Any kind of support or proximity to the Mutt is good for a Congress or a BJP or a JDS, and that is why neither the ruling party nor the opposition parties, they want to irk this Mutt right now and the heads here right now. Let me cut across to my colleagues. Ritu and Harish are with us on the broadcast. Harish, first to you. Rightly so, questions are being asked to the political class of the state of Karnataka, including the Congress and the JDS, that why aren't you criticizing the government action on this? 6 days, the seer has not been arrested so far. What are the indications that you're picking up from within the government? There's a very categoric statement that Mr. Yediyurappa made, that a DK Shivakumar made, and it looks very unlikely that the law will take its course.
Yes, if you look at what's happened over the last few days, the situation has reached a point where the government doesn't seem to be seen as a party to any sort of action against the Swamiji. So now they're waiting for the court to give him some sort of a relief. If you look at it, the anticipatory bail plea was today, it's now been adjourned for tomorrow. If he does get anticipatory bail plea, perhaps that makes the court, the government's role a little less, at least it gives them some relief. He can be summoned for questioning, then the government doesn't really have to arrest him as such if he gets a bail. And looks like a lot of time is being given to the Swamiji and his legal team to get that done. And remember, this was FIR registered on Friday night. We are almost a week since then, and we haven't seen the Swamiji either being questioned, called for medical examination, or evidence being collected. These victim girls are taken to the Mutt when the Swamiji is in the same premises, perhaps goes against every standard operating procedure suggested by several central agencies. And that's what we have seen over the last few days. So government clearly in a fix on what to do. Now you've had Dalit organizations jumping into this controversy, saying that one of the victims is a Dalit, and they would want the government to take action immediately. This is the case, but every political party assessing its electoral gains and losses by taking sides in this case, and that's one of the reasons that you do not have the Congress or the JDS criticizing the government on why a prime accused in this case still has not been called for questioning. Remember, today is the first time the accused number 2, Warden Rashmi, is called in for questioning much before the prime accused in this case. And enough time has been given for these accused in case they want to tamper with the evidence.
Absolutely. Tamper with the evidence. Intimidation to the victim, whether the security is important or not for the state is also an important question, Harish. And you rightly say that every SOP under the POCSO has been thrown under the bus. Ritu, I'm coming to you. What are the various reactions you're picking up from the story? The Mutt has also very strongly come forward and defended this year. We know how the political class has really reacted. Take us through the police investigation so far. It took a while for the victim's statement to be recorded under Section 164.
Yes, so you see now the police had finally decided to give a word out, and that what they have told is that they have detained Rashmi, the warden in the hostel, who was a warden in the hostel and is also an accused in this case, is now being questioned by the police, and the drilling is on the as part of an investigation process. But police also says that the seer is also likely that for a questioning, but police will take this decision as in when there is a need for it. So slow, and that's the slow and a steady kind of the decisions that the police is also taking step by step. That's finally, you see, after a pressure that was mounted on the police from the protesters who protested for a very long time right of in the front of the court, and then they also moved towards the DC's office. They sat there on a dharna. They were demanding for a justice. They were saying that if it was someone else by now, things would have been very much different. Is it because he holds that powerful position in the Karnataka? The politicians are also supporting the seer, and he is not not been, questioned by the police. There's no serious action that the police is taking against the seer. So who is that, the state government is also scared of? Is it that the power that this Mutt and the seer holds and the vital role that this Mutt and the community plays ahead of the elections? So that's one big question that is being raised here. So the another one is that why is it the minor girls are not being given a priority on that basis? Because the investigation process is only on step by step with all that in the minor girls, to the minor girls, but of course nothing is happening on the other side. This is today that, after so many days of an FIR being filed, today is where the police had come out and have given a word, one thing, and the other thing is also that they have detained and the questioning is on now. But of course on the other side, when we speak about the legal aspect, there were major developments that took place there. You see, the anticipatory bail, that the plea is also being deferred for tomorrow of the seer now, and on a later point, just couple of just a hour back, in fact. So the regular bail is also been granted to the other accused in this case, that's S.K. Baswarajan and his wife. That was an FIR that was been filed by the warden Rashmi against S.K. Baswarajan and his wife for kidnapping these girls. That's the kind of an allegation that she had made, that they kidnapped these minor girls and had kept them in a different place, and the parents too were not been informed. So that was an FIR that was been registered by Rashmi, and she also alleged that she too was been sexually abused by S.K. Baswarajan. So with all that, now you see the lawyers speaking to CNN News 18 also said that all these allegations and what are the sections that had were all bailable, and thus he and his wife had got a regular bail now.
All right. Thank you, Ritu and Harish, for getting us all the details on that very important story. We have Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, who's a senior journalist, Dr. Lubna Kamal, who's an activist, and Rahul Ishwar is also with us on the broadcast. Mr. R.K. Upadhyay, I'm coming to you first. Does it surprise you the manner in which the political class has defended this year?
Well, I think, before talking about the political parties, the political leaders, people are asking a very big question as to where is the Director of Police, Mr. Praveen Sood. I mean, he's the head of the police department, and why has he not even gone to that place 6 days since the FIR was filed? And this is a very serious case where it is incumbent upon him to take immediate action. He should have been there on the spot and directing the investigation. He should have ensured that the accused were taken into custody, questioned, and if necessary, arrested. I mean, he has just gone into hiding.
But
So
Mr. Upadhyay, the fact that the DGP has gone into hiding only shows the complicity of the political class. DGP cannot go into hiding unless the political class tells him to do so.
You see, there are multiple observations of the Supreme Court where it has very clearly said that the DGP has to take independent decisions. Why is he not acting on this? I mean, see, he should not be waiting for the political leaders to give him directions, because this is a very serious Foxco case in which it is incumbent upon him to act upon an FIR. The FIR was filed last Friday, which means 6 days have gone by, and these two poor kids, we don't know how safe they are now. They're still in that vicinity of that Mutt, and are they really safe with all this, the influential people going around? And as far as the question of the political parties are concerned, it's a very, very sad state of affairs. I mean, forget about the BJP, it's a ruling party, and they are the major culprits. But what about Congress and JDS?
Exactly.
Why are they keeping quiet?
Why are they keeping quiet? And they make a lot of noise on any other political issue in the state of Karnataka. Now, this is an issue which is about the complaint of 2 minor girls. Whether the incident happened or not, a court of law and investigation can decide. But when the basic due process is not followed, Dr. Lubna Kamal, how can we even ensure that the victims get any kind of justice? And let's forget justice. Even a basic proper investigation can happen when the medical examination of the key accused has not happened so far.
See, these are really influential people. I'll tell you of a case of Lucknow. A nursing student was raped on 6th of July, and I came to know of this today itself. And the FIR got registered after so much of, so much of pressure from so many people. Why? Because he was just a simple boy whose father was just a government servant. So their FIR was not registered. The boy was arrested after a month, and from last 1 month, the whole of August, the negotiations have been going on. Intimidation is constantly there, and they are just, the boy is jailed. So much of pressure, so much of political pressure. Police didn't do anything at all. So, I mean, when a simple boy, a simple 25-year-old boy who's nothing at all, when he can evade, arrest, when he can escape all of these things, how can you expect justice for these poor girls when they are fighting against such influential people? I was on another channel just a few days back on this Ankita's case of Jharkhand, and all the political biggies were there, and all what they were doing was pulling each other's legs. JMM was blaming BJP, they were blaming Congress, and everyone was blaming everyone else. And see, now you pointed out very rightly that everyone is quiet. Why? Because that is a very influential institution. And
the arm of law, the arm of law, and the manner in which the constitution of this country is drafted is actually to make sure that these kind of inequalities and inequities in society that can be bridged. The process of law is the same for everyone, but yes, the implementation lies with the executive, with the officers, and with the politicians, and that's exactly, Dr. Lubna Kamal, which is not happening right now.
I filed a case of molestation in 2012, and it has been 10 years, nothing has happened.
I take your point. Rahul Ishwar, I'm coming to you. Rahul, I'm coming to you. I'm saying this with much respect to all religious organizations in our country, especially our mutts and the Hindu faith organizations. They form a very important part of our culture, the Sanatan Dharma, and the manner in which our tradition and our ethos have been kept alive. But when these kind of allegations emerge, and it has happened in the past as well, against many influential seers, the requirement under law, the requirement under constitution is that the due process must be followed. That's not happening in this case, Rahul.
2 points. One, first of all, thank you for your sensitivity and beautifully articulated as you asked. Thank you for that. Second point, please remember, ma'am, it's a very sensitive case. The reason being, not only because he's a so-called God man, but he's a good man with great proven track record, credentials, but that doesn't absolve him of any crime. But the only doubt here is there are very genuine doubts regarding a power tussle inside the ashram for a very long time. Please remember, this is not the usual Hindu Khatrehe conspiracy theory where we blame our Christian Muslim brothers. No, there is a power struggle that has been going inside the temple, and this particular Basavaraj has been trying to implicate the Swami for a long period of time. This is in the public knowledge. This is in the knowledge of all the people who are with them. Unfortunately, when POXO came, everyone clapped. We all supported. But unfortunately, we have seen POXO being grossly misused. Please remember, it is not the Swami versus two kids, but it is Swami versus those people who are using these kids, using them to tutor them to give statements.
Rahul,
years have passed.
Rahul, I said in the beginning that I have a lot of respect for the mutts and the manner in which various Hindu organizations work in the country. That's aside the point. But I can also tell you something as a woman, that however good or bad a man may be in the public domain, however noble few men may appear in their public conduct, that doesn't tell us anything about their character. There are various social movements in this country, including the recent Me Too movement, where a lot of people with impeccable professional dignity were actually people who were harassing a lot of women for a very long time. So, allegedly, in some cases there were some certain defamation cases that could not be proved in a court of law.
True.
But I do believe that when a woman comes out and gives her testimony, she does it with a lot of risk. It's not easy to come out with these stories. Rahul. So when you give a certain kind of benefit of a doubt to the seer, also be sensitive about the cause of women.
Absolutely, yes. But please, can I tell a live example? Just 2 months back, Ramachandra Tiwari of Kendriya Vidyalaya was in jail. He was a teacher, was in jail for 7 years. A +2 student alleged him to have raped her, impregnated her, and then made her abort. After 7 years, maybe due to COVID and all, court having detailed scientific inquiry found out that the girl was neither raped, nor was there a pregnancy, neither was abortion done. It was some, issue in the school that really, went ahead and filed this. And a court recently went on to say that had there not been a CCTV in this school, at least 8 members of schools would have gone through prosecution by this. But CCTV saved these teachers because it can be proved that such a thing never happened. Yes, we are totally with the woman. Most people definitely tell the truth, but at the same point of time, there are some people who cunningly misuse these children and the woman to take out revenge, to take out their revenge, because everyone knows when a woman or a child case comes.
Tell me, Rahul. Rahul, you understand law. Rahul, you understand law. Upadhyay ji, I'm coming to you. You understand law. Tell me one law which is not misused in the Indian Penal Code.
And please remember, when this is misused, a man's life is lost, his career is lost, his public standing is lost. So all we are urging is, let us be more cautious. Let us not jump the gun. Let the process of law take place. Let there be a thorough investigation. Nobody is saying that.
Rahul, in our entire presentation of this news, we have not called anybody a convicted person. We have not said somebody has committed a heinous offense like a rape or a sexual assault. We've said these are allegations. It needs to be proved in a court of law, but there is a due procedure that needs to be followed. Mr. Upadhyay, please come in. You had a point to make.
Yeah, you see, you cannot just take one stray incident and say, you have to give benefit of doubt to the accused. I mean, here is a very classic case of a very powerful mutt head, and who is being accused by two girls. How would they do it unless there was something? I mean, they have been interrogated for 6 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. Lying? If they're lying, they'll be liable for contempt. So let us take their statement very seriously and act upon it. Instead of that, it is taken 6 days, and people are saying that, look, you cannot do anything unless there is some proof. I mean, it is for the police to find out what exactly has happened. They need to call this accused. They have not even questioned them.
Yeah.
The very fact that they have not even questioned them, and the Swami is roaming around freely, and he even went out of one night went away to Haveri. I mean, this is the kind of the investigation that's going on. This is completely unpardonable, and I think the police have to immediately take him into custody, interrogate him, and arrest him.
Law must be applied equally in this country.
Yeah,
I think I'm very clear on that. Rahul, let's for the sake of the argument, let's believe what you're saying, that there is some kind of power tussle and these are fraudulent allegations that have been made. But how will you really prove in the public perception that these are fraudulent allegations which have been made? By a medical examination, by interrogation, by submitting yourself to the due process of law, by contradicting the testimony of the victims who have come forward. And eventually, if there's nothing that, there's no truth in what the victims are saying, he'll be let go of. He's not one of those people who cannot afford lawyers or the judicial process or does not have access to good legal help or lawyers. I mean, there's no problem like that. So what is the problem for the Karnataka police and the DGP to step in and question him or to take him for a medical examination?
Chief Minister has categorically said that there will be a due process of investigation will be going through. Yes, and please remember, Lingayites are not only the so-called powerful group; they are a very spiritual.
Why is it taking so long?
Rahul, we've lost your connection. We've lost your connection. Okay, you're back.
Everyone has seen that there is an element of reverence for them. That's the reason why beyond BJP or Congress, everyone is pointing out the noble work. We also would like to know whether this person is a wrong person, whether we believe that he's a good person and he turned out to be a wrong person. Yes, there should be a thorough investigation. But and I really respect your channel because it has not gone for the hyperbole branding the Swamiji a rapist. Thank you for that. He's an alleged person. Let us wait for process of law. There should be investigation, and the Mutt, I'm absolutely sure in all their majesty and goodness will totally cooperate with it. He's not going to run away anywhere. He's such a revered figure. He's going to stay here. So let us wait for it, and let us wait for
what makes it worse, Rahul. What makes it worse is that, there are various protocols which have been set under POCSO to ensure that when a minor girl complains or when a minor boy complains of some kind of sexual assault, they are not brought near the accused. There is a certain degree of privacy which is maintained. Proper, adequate protection, emotional and physical is accorded to them. The fact that the main culprit has not been arrested, he's not been questioned, he's a powerful man, there are politicians supporting him. Imagine what the victims must be going through.
All the protection should be there. I think there is no debate even regarding that. The way the media is raising this is very good, because if those girls, what they are saying were true, it is a heinous crime. It's a shocking crime, and that will bring shame to all the believers, all the community members, and all the people who support them. So all the necessary protection, psychological, emotional, social protection, police protection, respecting their privacy, should all be accorded. I'm absolutely sure due to this media press, especially national media, taking it up in such a vigor, they will all get necessary stuff. Hopefully, we are believing that at least the truth will come out very fast so that we can at least know what we believed is right or wrong.
You know, what I've learned over years, tracking courts, looking at cases, reading judgments where it took 20 years for the justice to come in, that if the process is not followed, you would never get justice. Process is a very, very intrinsic part to what you call justice in the country. And perhaps that's why, you know, there is so much insistence in our Indian constitution to make sure that the penal code provisions, the POCSO rules are all followed. Dr. Lubna, last word to you. Do you have hope that the police will act in this case? And let's believe, for the sake of the argument, that he'll be arrested, he'll be interrogated. The fact that he enjoys political patronage, can we really have a fair investigation? Dr. Lubna. Ma'am, can you unmute yourself, please?
For me?
No, we're just trying to get a word from Lubna. Okay, that's not happening. We'll just try and fix that line. Upadhyay ji, I'll take the same question to you. The process is not being followed, even if there's some kind of arrest that, for the sake of the argument, we'll believe will happen. But if the seer enjoys a political patronage, will the process really be a free and a fair one?
I think the very fact that it has taken 6 days for the police to even move in shows that, you know, one cannot expect fair trial in this. There has to be a court-monitored investigation. I believe that only a court-monitored investigation will be able to find out the truth. Otherwise, they are bent upon, burying this case. It's very evident that the state governments, nor any of the political parties, are interested in this case. So they would like to see that, once the heat is over, then they would like to bury this case. What happens to the case? What happens to those girls who made the complaints? What will be their future? So I think it's incumbent upon the court to set up a monitored committee to go into this case.
I think Lubna is back with us on the broadcast. Lubna, I'm short of time, but I want to take in a word from you. You told me that you made a complaint many years ago about a molestation case. That never came through. In this case, do you have any hope as a woman by looking at many other cases similar?
No. I come across these kind of cases very regularly. People come to me for advice, although I'm not a lawyer. But since I've been fighting for myself from a number of years, yes, people do come to me. And the state of police is just pathetic. You cannot expect anything from there, In my case, the molester was hiding inside a policeman's home, and he was to evade arrest. So, this is a huge case. So, unless and until some political party people take it very seriously, and there are committees, to investigate this, and there's proper investigation under supervision, under judicial supervision. You cannot expect, justice in this case. And the poor girls, it takes lot of courage, to come out and speak about these things. They are being asked about these things for 6 to 7 hours.
Absolutely.
It's so difficult.
There's an old legal maxim which is followed in Indian law as well, because we follow the common law system, that the process must just not be fair, but it also must seem to be fair to a bystander, to a person who's observing. And in this case, the process doesn't seem to be a fair one. We had Rahul Ishwar, Dr. Lubna Kamal and R.K. Upadhyay with us on the broadcast. We'll continue tracking all the developments, slipping into a short break.